Hello, my name is Ash, a counselor in training. This is my Relatable study podcast for individuals who need help studying for their NCE, CPCE, and other related counseling exams. I'm going to go through many questions from multiple resources and make the answers relatable to both you and me. So get your listening ears on and let's get studying. Id, ego, superego is to structural theory, as blank is to topographical theory. A. Child, adult, parent. B. Abreaction, catharsis, introspection. C. Ego ideal. D. Unconscious, preconscious, conscious. The answer is D. Id, ego, superego is to structural theory, as unconscious, preconscious, and conscious is the topographical model, divides the mind into three regions based on how accessible the mental content is to awareness, and that is through unconscious, preconscious, and conscious. Topographical is a new concept to me, so I would recommend both of us, you and me, look into more research into the topographical theory and model. What is the second step of conflict resolution? The second step of conflict resolution is ascertain expectations. This is where each client in a group or family, or even the client by themselves, identifies exactly what they want, and the disclosure of the expectations with a sense of trust that can begin to evolve. The counselor will need to remain objective to conflict resolution and be respectful to everyone involved in this phase. For example, I expect my group members to respect me, listen to what I have to say, and provide positive feedback. Those are my expectations so trust can be built. That is an example of ascertaining expectations. The most controversial aspect of Freud's theory is A. Catharsis, B. The Oedipus complexes, C. The notion of the preconscious mind, D. The interpretation of dreams. The answer is C. The most controversial aspect of Freud's theory is the Oedipus complexes because it is due to the lack of evidence and its inconsistencies across various cultures. In addition, the theory is also controversial for many reasons, including child abuse, lack of evidence, and not being applicable to all families, cultures, and sexualities. I would personally recommend for both of us, both you and me, to look into the reasons why it is so controversial, apart from the reasons that are stated. What is the third step of conflict resolution? The third step of conflict resolution is identifying special interests, in which the counselor can determine if anyone has any unspoken objectives or interests that could potentially slow down the resolution process. Everyone in this conflict resolution will need to be honest about what they want and what they need in order to help this conflict resolution. The third step of conflict resolution is identifying special interests. Evidence for the unconscious mind comes from all of these except A. Hypnosis, B. Slips of tongue and humor, C. Dreams, D. Subject units of distress scale. The answer is D. Evidence for the unconscious mind comes from all of these except subjective units of distress scale. Individuals do know their units of distress, their triggers of stress, and other things related to stress. When individuals are stressed, they're usually very well aware that they are stressed and trying different things to calm themselves down. But for the unconscious mind, using hypnosis, dreams, slips of tongue, and humor are evidence of the unconscious mind, but subjective units of distress is not. That is all 5 questions for this episode. Thank you for listening. Keep calm and study on.